Assalamu alaikum. We start off with Bismillah, Rahman Rahim, the name of Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Anything that I say of the truth conveyed today is from Allah Azza wa Jal, and the error that I make is my own. So the topic that I've been advertising somewhat in the last couple of days, in the last week or so, has been on Adam alayhi salam, Cleopatra, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hold on one second. I have some issues here. Oh no, don't worry about this one. So again, the topic was Adam alayhi salam, Cleopatra, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I want to start off first with my own personal experience, and I'm sure you all probably have experienced this yourselves, is that I am a brown-skinned man. When the sun comes out in the summer, my skin gets darker. In the winter, when the sun is out less and there's less sunshine, I get a little paler. Now multiply that by 1,000 years in different climates and different time periods, and you'll kind of get the gist of what I will be saying here today. There's an anthropologist named Nina Jablonski. She says there is a conspicuous geographical pattern between skin color and distance from the equator. At more northern and southern latitudes, so at the top of the planet and at the bottom of the planet, the level of UVB rays hits the Earth's surface decreased due to the planet's tilt. So the planet is tilting closer towards the sun, and the equator is closest to it because the Earth is round. Now, if you are one of those people that say the Earth is flat, then we got a whole other argument. All right, so we'll deal with you on a different time. So the Earth is round and is tilting towards the sun. She also says the equator is bathed year-round with UVB rays. But seasonal variations mean that the people in the northern Europe receive virtually no UVB exposure in the winter. Now, I figured this talk would be pretty extensive, so I wanted to make sure I brought some visuals. Hopefully everybody sees this, and I'm going to pass these things around so everybody sees it. So this is indicative of the sun. This is the top of the sun. This is from the top of the Earth, north and south. And this is the equator right here, which is closest to the sun. So it gets more exposure. These get less exposure. All right, I'm giving handouts, so you can just pass it around to everyone else, because I'll be doing this the whole time. As a result of this, she says humans living near the equator develop darker skin tones, while those in north have lighter hues. Now, what I also wanted to give you a picture of was the UV rays, how it is hitting the Earth, and in the middle here is where the equator is, and you'll see that the UV rays strike more extensively, intensively in the middle, and then on the north and south is lighter. And the bottom part of this picture, I want to make sure that this is shown as well. The bottom part is indicative of people's skin color. In Africa, in South America, in Australia, in India, down here, in Arabia, in Yemen, these people are dark brown and black people. And then the lighter you get up, the higher you get up, the lighter they are. The lower you go down, the lighter they are. All right? Scientists say human beings came from Africa, probably East Africa, Ethiopia. What's up, brother? You know what I'm talking about here, right? We didn't discuss this, right? The father of us all is called Adam, right? I know this is something that everyone knows, but it's important because even I learned something more just in discussing this. It's called Adam in the Abrahamic traditions. And here is a picture of what, yes?
According to the Bible and those that wrote that was blank how many thousand years ago?
Right. Right. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it, brother. In the picture, here's a picture of Adam according to National Geographic. Now, before I send it to you, I want to make sure you understand that we don't have depictions of our prophets and messengers. This is what National Geographic said he would probably look like, right? And I had pictures on social media of a European person that they had depicting to us as Adam since I was born. This is what National Geographic said he would look like. With a wide nose, wide lips, dark skin, dark complexion, dark hair, coming from Eastern Africa. All right, so this is what they said, their composition of what he may look like. In the Quranic dictionary, the word Adam means to reconcile. It means to be brown. It means human skin. It means human being. It means a person, an intelligent person. It also means brown, and I say dark brown because there's another word for brown in Arabic. It's called asmar, which is light brown. So Adam was dark brown because of his proximity to the sun. I said dark skin, or dark brown, I'm sorry. The Quran also says that he was made from black clay, hama'in, black mud. In the Quran, Surah 15, Ayah 26, it is translated, and certainly we created man of clay that gives forth sound, of black mud fashioned into shape. Now I showed you a picture of what Adam may have looked like. This is probably the complexion of Eve. And this is the translation of the ayah that I read, and I wrote beside it the verse of the Quran. Now some of these pictures are cut short, so I had to write it on the side. This black mud speaks to his complexion, what complexion he would look like. Now, on to Noah, and we talked about him a couple weeks ago, or last week. Noah had 3 sons. Scholars say that he is the father of the Negroid, the Mongoloid, and the Caucasoid people. Of all people came from Noah, right? And I want to write this down as well. So from Noah, came Ham, Shem, and Japheth. He's a Negroid. I hate this word Negroid, man. I'm going to tell y'all something about that in a moment. Spelling this right. Something like that. When at my previous job, they asked for my birth certificate. And under race, it said Negro. And my HR director is younger than me. He was like, how old are you? Why doesn't it say black or African American? It said Negro in it. He was like, well, you were born in the civil rights times. But then, so I always had a negative vibe towards the word Negro. I don't know why. Always, even more so than the N-word. I thought it was like, when people said Negro, I thought they were wanting to say the N-word to me, and they didn't say it, so I didn't like that word. Yes.
Is that on your birth certificate?
On my birth certificate.
What state?
In Norfolk, Virginia. Right.
That's weird.
Very weird. So, Ham was the son of Noah, and he's black. He's considered to be the father of the Negroid race, so he's black. As the father of the Negroid race, all of his sons were also black. Let me write down the names of his sons because they are important as well. Canaan, Cush, Mizraim, and Put. All right, these are very important names. Canaan was the ancestor of the tribe of the original inhabitants of Canaan. The territory, which is roughly the area that is Israel or Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria. Right? So before the children of Israel came into existence, there was a people called Canaan, the Canaanites. They lived in this land. And the children of Israel, according to the Bible, came and killed them and took their land. But they were black and brown people, right? Originally. And Cush means the kingdom of Cush. And it is identified in the Bible as Ethiopia and Arabia. You hear me? Ethiopia and Arabia. So also on this is Eritrea, part of Sudan, and Somalia, right? Let me show you a picture. Again, it's cut off a little bit, but you will see the Cushite people are, this is Egypt right here. This is Cush or Ethiopia. On this side right here is Eritrea. You'll also see Sheba at the bottom of here, right? Queen of Sheba is a part of the Cushites. And this is Arabia, right? And in between them is the Red Sea.
That was supposed to be what year now?
And what year was, this was about 4,000 years ago.
About 4,000 years ago, approximately 5,000 years ago, the Kushite people had migrated to what is northern India.
Right?
They were known as the Dravidians.
Right, I'm gonna get to it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got it there here. I know you know for sure, right? So, Cush means land of burnt-faced people, right? So if we include the Dravidians, we include the obviously the Ethiopians. No, that's never in dispute. The Okay, Eritrea, obviously, Arabia, Yemen, which was Sheba, were all land of the burnt-faced people, right? Put is also a place in ancient Libya. Put was called Punt, and it was an ancient land that used to trade with the ancient Egyptians. Egyptians called the land Netjer, meaning the land of God, speaking to its monotheism. Now, we have been told that Egypt was the first monotheistic religion, and they said they worship the sun, but these people worship God alone. And there is whole nother discussion about all ancient people, all indigenous people were monotheists originally. Before Egyptians got their culture from Sudan. So, and that's where they get the pyramids from. That's why smaller pyramids in Sudan and larger pyramids in Egypt, they expanded upon what they learned previously. But at any rate, they were monotheists. Mizraim is the Hebrew and Aramaic name for the land of Egypt. Kemet was originally the name that the original inhabitants called the place. And Kemet means land of the blacks. Right? I mean, this stuff is, they wrote it out for us plain and simple. This is the land of black people. Right? In fact, Egypt comes from a Greek word that means black. So not only the people living there, but foreign people came and called this land of the black people. So they were black, right? The Bible refers to Egypt as the land of Ham. Did I put? Yeah, I put Ham on it. Okay. So, and again, I can give you references to all of these things, right? Because they were black. You will also notice that the land that is currently occupied by Arabs and Israelis were originally land of black people. Right? And I have a picture for that as well. So I said Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, all of those are already known, but right here is where Israel is. I just put a little star a little arrow right here. Syria, which is Saudi Arabia, what is Saudi Arabia now is on this. Yemen, Oman, all of this, right? And you'll also see that they're right across from there, in the middle of it is the Red Sea. All of these were considered together. They weren't separate like we separate them today, say they're in Africa, one is in Africa and one is Asian. Apparently there is some controversy about the complexion of the people in a country in the continent of Africa, the hottest continent on earth, right? I mean, we are seemingly, hopefully, shedding the light on this, or shedding the lies on this idea that Egypt was anything other than dark black. The same thing is true of Arabia, we are beginning to see. This is perhaps because with Egypt, there are all these accomplishments that the Egyptians have had, and people want to attach themselves to that. I'll give you a list of some experts who've spoken on the matter who also attest to this fact, despite the fact that the people living there called the place the land of the black, and the people who came there called it the land of the black. Sir Richard Francis Bertram says, you are right, you are quite right about the African origin of the Egyptians. I have over 100 skulls to prove it. Another scientist named R.T. Pritchard says, in their complexion and many of the complexions and in the physical peculiarities, the Egyptians, were an African race. The Greek historian Herodotus says I saw the Egyptians face to face, and they had black skin with woolly hair. He said many of the people of Egypt, and mostly are brown or black skin with skinny faces. Another anthropologist says the ancient Egyptians were true Negroes of the same type as all native Africans. That being said, we can see how their blood mixed for several centuries with that of the Romans and the Greeks. This will come up later. Most have lost the intensity of its original color while retaining, nonetheless, the imprint of its original mold. We can even state as a general principle that the face, meaning the face of the Sphinx, is a kind of monument able in many cases to attest to or shed the light of historical evidence of the original people. He also says, this person who says this was Constantine Francesco del Volney. He was a French philosopher, he was an abolitionist and a writer, and he said, what a subject for meditation. Just think that the race of black people today are our slaves, and the subject of our scorn is the very race that we owe our arts, sciences, and even the use of speech. So, Ham and all of his brothers, Ham and all of his sons were black. From this fact, we can deduce other facts. If Ham was black, and black enough to have all the people in Ethiopia, in Egypt, in Arabia, in Yemen to be black, then his father, Noah, must have been black also.